I want to dispel the myth that there just simply isn't enough room in Raleigh to build enough places to live. Hello, my name's Whitney Hill, Whitney for Raleigh. I want to talk about this myth and why I think it's wrong. So, probably if you go in and look at property that's actually zoned to build residentially, there probably is a shortage of that land in Raleigh. That's something that our local government controls. And zoning and changing zoning and that type of thing, those are things that actually take some time and have some bureaucracy and a lot of times for good reason because you just don't want to go put a factory in next door to a residential neighborhood, those types of things. And and so zoning hearings are pretty important in its place for the public to give their input and everything. But what I'm talking about, I'm just using the common sense approach here that there's lots of land in Raleigh and on the borders of Raleigh that could be built on. Now, a lot of this land is owned by, say, NC State, by the state of North Carolina, and by the city of Raleigh. Take Dix Park, for instance. We There's big plans on what to do with Dix Park. We're going to make it a destination and everything. Well, okay, all that's fine, but and I think we are taking some of that land and going to build a housing on that, of high density housing, affordable housing, and that's a good thing. And maybe we need to look at taking more. But on the south end of town, you literally can drive out the back end of downtown, and there's nothing but space out there. I don't know who all owns that property, but we need to start looking into a lot of our fallow land that's out around Raleigh. Who owns it? Can we get some of it freed up and start selling it off to developers to be able to build on? So my contention here is that we've got plenty of space in Raleigh. It's just a matter of it's either not zoned or it's not in a situation where it's going to be sold because government entities own the property. That's one thing. The second thing is that is I'm out there and what I'm seeing is that there seems to be a lot of slow walking with uh, rezoning requests and with building permits and with inspections. I don't know if this is just a bureaucratic problem downtown. I know with COVID, we lost a lot of our building inspectors and we had to replace those folks. And I think we did. My understanding is that we replaced them with high school graduates. Well, that obviously isn't going to mesh up well with someone who had been here for working in that area for 30 or 40 years and was a top-notch guy that had a lot of experience and knew what to do. But there is something wrong because as I've out talked to, and it seems to be the small builders, as I'm out have been out talking to these folks, having to deal with getting rezoning requests, getting inspections done in a timely manner, getting uh, building permits is a extremely slow process. Now, I want to say one more thing. One of the things that happened here was that we invested a bunch of 60 or 70 million dollars in building affordable housing. That is being done through a city bond. And my contention is why are we doing it that way? Uh, we need housing really bad, and I'm glad to see we're doing something about it. But I had previously contended that we should be really looking at private ownership. And it's just not from the standpoint of someone having to take responsibility for their own place, which is always going to be better than public housing. But it's really important from the standpoint of giving someone a fixed house payment for the life that they own that place until it's paid off, which is going to be way better than having your rent being a slave to inflation, because you're never going to get out of the economic pinch, even in affordable housing, of your prices going up. Whereas, anyone who's got a house loan knows you take that house loan out unless you choose to refinance, and typically you're going to do that to get your house payment down. Your house payment is fixed, except for the taxes, of course, but those are going to go up. So I think that what I'm seeing now is the one weight group, which has been a big proponent of this stuff, of getting affordable housing, who had a big part in putting pressure on to pass this big housing bond, that they're now starting to talk about home ownership and as being part of the package here with affordable housing. I applaud that. The Nehemiah Project, which what we're doing is being modeled after, that's what they did up in New York. Now, we'll have to make an investment into counseling for this and working with the people that are coming into this and making sure we're getting them into loans that they're going to be able to afford. They're not getting into a balloon loan situation that 5 years from now they're going to be wiped out and kicked out of their places. So it's going to be done properly, but I'm glad to see this and I applaud the fact that they're doing it. So I'm really seeing progress here. Look, no, I couldn't find a person in Raleigh who wanted to see tent cities. No one wants to see that. And I have seen for the last number of years that we've been moving the wrong way with the homeless, but now I think we're starting to take some of the right steps to work on this. My only question is, are we doing enough fast enough? Are the number of homeless increasing faster than what we're doing to house them? Look, folks, if we decide we want to grow and we're going to court businesses to come into this area and we're going to have fast growth, we're going to have to be able to handle the housing situation. And it's not good enough to simply not have enough places for people to live. And it's going to be the guys at the bottom are going to get pushed out, whether it's you talk about affordable housing or whatever. We have to build enough places for people to live in Raleigh. And pushing the problem out to outer line areas like Wake Forest and places like that, you can do a certain amount of it, but at the end of the day, it's not the optimal thing to push people out into affordable housing out in places like Wake Forest, and then they've got to take a big long bus ride back into Raleigh. This is Whitney for Raleigh. If you like this video, please push the subscribe button and also like this video. I appreciate you watching it.